Hi, and welcome to the BookishStitcher podcast. My name is Jeanette. You can find me on Ravelry, Instagram, and Goodreads as BookishStitcher, all one word. I hope you guys have had a wonderful week since I last here and I was talking to you guys. I had a really good one. Yesterday was so eventful for us. My son plays chess. Some of you who've been watching the podcast for a while may remember that I've talked about that before. I haven't spoken about it in a while because my husband's been taking him to the matches lately. But yesterday I decided that I would go with him to a tournament, and my husband would stay here and get some daddy-daughter time with our little 3-year-old, and they had lots of fun. And so I took my son to the chess tournament, and we went, and I brought my knitting, of course, and I had a whole bunch of podcasts lined up to listen to, but I didn't actually get to listen to anything because I met an awesome new friend. Her name is Erin, and she saw me. I had my headphones in, I was knitting and watching a podcast, and she came over and she asked about my knitting, and I paused what I was watching and started talking to her, and she quilts. She just started quilting. She had a very cool wrist thing that was a pin cushion, and she was wearing it to the match, and she had her whole setup there. And I had my House of Yarn bag, and she loved it and said that it would be perfect for sewing. So we went on Etsy, and she was considering which House of Yarn bag that she was going to buy to keep her sewing in, and she loved a lot of those. That was really fun. And her other sewing friends that were there were saying that they loved the bags too. So I guess knitting bags can be used as quilting bags too. I never thought of that because I'm not a quilter. But her quilt was really pretty and getting to see the first time, and it was just really good. She said I was really friendly. I thought she was really friendly. So it was just kind of like you've known a person for your whole life and you're just sitting down and talking, and it was very relaxed. I was telling her about all the countries that I want to visit, and she was saying that she would go with me anywhere I wanted to go. So that was really fun. I'm having a bit of coffee right now in my Ginny the Potter mug that my husband got me for our anniversary. It's 2 owls and a little heart because he's an awesome husband, and he knows that I love pottery, and this is a special one because you can only get it at knitting festivals, really, and I haven't been to one, so he contacted her specifically and asked for one for our anniversary. But I'm drinking coffee because my 3-year-old has been waking up a lot at night, so I'm a little pretty tired. So while at the chess tournament, I worked on a project, and I have it finished to show you guys today. My son took second place at the chess tournament. He was a little bit bummed. He normally sweeps them all and takes first, so he's always a little bit sad when he doesn't. So it was a good time, and I'm really glad that he went because it's been a while since we've gone to one, and so it's kind of just like getting back in the swing of things. And then after the chess tournament, we had knit night at my local knit night group, and I went to that, and that was really fun to see everybody and just hang out. And then today, I've actually been doing a lot of organizing of different stuff. I've been on an organizing spree. I don't know why, but it's been really good to just fill up bags to take to Goodwill and get stuff done. So let me show you what I finished. The first thing I'm going to show you is the thing that I worked on all day yesterday at the chess match and at knit night. And this is a little baby cardigan. It's the Ruched baby cardigan by Terry Crews, and the yarn is the Loopy U series in the Mountain Primrose that I got as a prize for completing Camp Loopy. And this pattern was actually gifted to me by Loopy Liz. That was really cute. And I'm going to get some just plain white buttons, I think, because the pattern or the yarn is so colorful that I think any other buttons would kind of overwhelm it. So I'm going to do white buttons and then little snaps because it doesn't have buttonholes, so I think that'll be great. And I think I have enough yarn left over to do some little baby booties. So that'll be a really cute set, and I'm excited to give it to my friend when her baby shower is. The next thing I have to show you guys that I finished has been months in the making. If you've been watching the podcast for a while, you remember that we started a blanket along in November. And I, on November 3rd, started the Big Cozy blanket out of Knit Picks, the Big Cozy yarn. And I just finished it right before I started recording today. I bound off. This blanket has taken, 5 months. 5 months. So I don't finish everything super fast. This took a while. And I have it right here to show you guys, but it's too big to really pull out. It's 3 feet wide by 5 feet tall, and I just kind of wanted, it's folded up in on itself, to show you. But the colors are this really pretty marine blue, and then it goes to this light fawn colorway, and then another stripe of the marine blue, and then a darker fawn, and then another stripe of the marine blue, all the way to, you can't really see that, but that's a chocolate brown, and then it just repeats itself. So there were quite a few stripes on that, and it took a lot longer than I thought it would, I think, because as it grew, it got heavier and heavier, and it just, I didn't want to work on it. And then towards the end, when it was March, and I live in Texas, so it gets hot early here. I wish it didn't, but it does. So I could not have this blanket on top of me while I was knitting it. I would have to stand next to the bed and have the blanket on the bed and knit. So I couldn't do a whole prolonged rows there, so I just would do like a row a day. But it's finished, and I'm so excited that it'll be ready for next winter. I'm just glad, you know, those long-term, that was my oldest WIP I had. It started November of 2014, and it's done, so I don't have anything else that is from 2014. Now on to my current WIPs. I wanted to just show you guys what I've been working on this week. The first thing I have is in my House of Yarn bag, and I'll be talking about House of Yarn in another section for our giveaway. Inside this bag are my wrought iron socks by Wendy D. Johnson, and this is some January yarns in the sea glass colorway. You'll probably notice if you've seen these before that they don't look that much farther, because last time I showed them I was about to turn the heel, and you'll see I have the heel turned now. And then there's, let me see if I can put it on my hand to show you guys. But there's the pattern. And you can see there's where the heel comes. So these have a little bit of a story with them, and I feel quite proud of myself. I have grown as a knitter. So I turned the heel very early on in the week, and then I just kept going up the foot. And I was up it quite a ways, a couple inches, probably 3 or 4, and I decided to try them on. And I tried them on, and they were a bit too short on the heel placement because I've never done this exact heel before that the pattern called for. So I started the heel where I normally would for a fish lips kiss heel, but that didn't work. So I put them aside for a day, and I just kind of pondered, you know, I don't know anybody that takes good care of their knitting that has a smaller size foot than I do. I have a 7. My mom has an 11. Most of my friends are about 9s. It's a pretty standard size. And so I didn't know anybody that was a 6.5. That would have probably have been the perfect size for this. And even if I had, I'm spending such a long time knitting these, and they're so gorgeous that I really wanted them to be for me. So I did something I don't often do, and I ripped back. And it was not fun. And I put this some DPNs, some little wooden DPNs in to kind of try to hold the stitches in place so I wouldn't, because I didn't have a lifeline, which a lifeline, you know, keeps the stitches on there so you can't go past, or you don't accidentally drop any stitches that you don't want to. So I put the DPNs in as kind of a pseudo lifeline, and then I just ripped and ripped and ripped. And then it was actually kind of hard to find where I was again in the cable pattern and to read the yarn. So it took a while with that, and that was kind of frustrating, so I put that aside. But I did it, and I did it to an Audrey Hepburn movie, and she is one of the people I just so admire because her work with UNICEF and stuff in her later life, she was just the epitome of kindness and grace and gentleness. I really like her. So she helped me by me watching one of her movies while I was ripping back and starting again with the sock. So I've just done the heel, and I think this is actually going to become a long-term project like the blanket was, because normally if I have to rip back, I've only ripped back once in my life, and I didn't want to see the project ever again. It just made me so discouraged. Every time I would look at the project, all I could think about was that I had to rip back, and I ended up actually throwing that away. It was when I first started knitting, and it was some acrylic yarn, so it wasn't a big waste of money or anything like that. But I did it, and I am happy that I did it, even though it was really disheartening. So these will get done when they get done. They're not going to get done in time for the knit along now because I lost almost a full week on them, which is sad. But they will be beautiful when I have them finished. The next thing that I have to show you guys is the Monster Cowl by Julia Allen. And it has really, really grown this week. That's how long it is. I'm probably a third of the way through. And these colors are just so gorgeous together. I love how the blue is a solid, but the brown is very subtly variegated. It's different shades of brown with occasional pops of green. And I had a picture of this on Instagram, and a lot of people were saying that they would have never thought that these two colors would go together. But I think they really do really well go together. And the yarn for this, I have the little label or tag in here, is another Crafty Girl. And this colorway is Gronkle. And then I have the blue is Lagoon. So that's been getting lots of work on, and I'm really, really loving the chevron. The next thing I have is this new. This is part of an informal, we just finished up this week, our read-along for the Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. And a whole bunch of people in the group were talking about wanting to knit something in the color of the Reveille's. And that's, the circus colors are black and white, but the people who attend the circus, the Reveille's, I think I'm saying that right, I'm not exactly sure, they would wear a dash of red to show that they were fans of the circus, but they weren't actually in it. And it's very cool. There was knitting in the book. At the end, somebody was knitting a red scarf and gave it to someone. So I love when there's knitting references in books. I'm sure anyone who knits does. So a lot of people are doing socks, a lot of people are doing shawls, and I decided to do a shawl for this. And this is the French Cancan pattern, and it is by Mademoiselle C. And I've got almost all of the body done. It's just a garter stitch body. And what really drew me to this shawl was when I saw pictures of it, I just looked on Ravelry on the advanced pattern search. I typed in shawl, I typed in a weight of yarn that I wanted to use, because I kind of picked the yarn for this first. I went to Knit Picks, and I'll show you the yarn that I got later, or in a minute. But so I picked that, and then I was glancing through, and I wanted a thing that I could do 3 different parts to it. So I saw the French Cancan, and I thought it was beautiful, so I looked through the finished objects and saw that somebody had kind of done this. So the body of my French Cancan, the garter stitch part, is going to be in white. Then there's going to be a little bit of black lace, then a red cable, and then a little bit of black lace again. I think it's going to be gorgeous. So the white yarn that I'm doing with this is Knit Picks Capra DK in the cream. And then the black that I'm going to be using is Knit Picks Gloss DK. And the black, you see that? And then the red is Knit Picks Gloss in the cranberry colorway. And so that has just been so much fun to work on. I love seeing the garter stitch grow, and it's so nice and squishy. I love garter stitch shawls just because of how squishy they are. So that is all of my whips that I worked on. You'll notice that my husband's socks with the stripe and my Rhinebeck sweater didn't get worked on this week. I am going to work on them a ton next week because I know I need to work on them if I'm going to finish them in time for Rhinebeck and have a bunch of sweaters. Spinning, I don't have any that I can show you guys again this week. I'm still busy spinning. I have some events coming up in the summer, and I'm going to be seeing some friends, and I kind of have it in my head that I want to give them all hand spun as part of present packages. So I'm still working on that. I'll try to get for next week something done that does not relate to a present. Oh, and I also wanted to say I got something in the mail this week from a very wonderful friend that I met at SSK, the Knitting Retreat in Nashville in July. Ironical knitter, and she is living the dream and has opened a yarn studio. I think that's so exciting. It really is. It's living the dream. There are only a couple of other things that I could think of that I would rather do. But so she sent me a bag from her studio, and I wanted to show all of you guys. It's 614 Knit Studio, and it is in Central Ohio. So if you are ever in Central Ohio, or if you live there, or you're traveling through, go visit her yarn store and buy all the yarn. But I really wish that I lived there so I could go and hang out and knit with them, you know. The great part about the knitting community on Ravelry is you get to meet people from all over. And when you go to retreats, you get to meet them. But it's kind of sad because I would love to just be able to teleport myself to my friends and just hang out and knit at her studio, or go to England and knit with some people there, or go to Australia and knit with some people there, go to Canada and Russia and knit with people there, but you can't. So it's, you know, I wish I could be there to be there for her store opening, but I heard that it went really well, and I'm excited for her and owning a yarn store. It's so exciting. So speaking of yarn, I got some this week. I've been doing the thing, I'm saving up for the next festival that I have coming up, but once a month I am trying a new to me, or something that I haven't really worked with much, dyer. My phone is gonna ring. I'm trying a new to me dyer, one that I haven't worked with much before, and the one that I picked for this month is Marigold Jen. So I'm really sorry about the phone, guys. I don't want to pause this and mess up the video. But she sent me this sample, and it's DK weight yarn. It came with my order. It's really pretty. Let me get all red because the phone has me flustered now. So I got 3 skeins from her. It was very much Instagram enabled. I don't follow a lot of people on Instagram that are dyers or make stuff, just because I would own more yarn than I could know ever what to do with. But I do follow her, and I got 3 skeins of yarn. This is my April yarn purchase. I think I've worked with Marigold Jen before, but just once. And so this one I got, Marigold Jen. You already seen the card, so I won't show them anymore, but this is Lady Violet, and it's DK weight yarn, 100% superwash merino, and it has 250 yards. And I think that's really, really pretty. Next one I got is called Forbidden, and this is her sock weight yarn, and it is 75% BFL, 25% nylon, 464 yards. And this one, isn't that pretty? I love, it's this charcoal gray. If you can see it, yeah. There are pops of purple and blue and green. I think that is so pretty. I just really like it. So I'm excited to knit with that. Oh, it's so pretty. That's what gets you, the pretties. And this next one, it's gorgeous as well. So this is Lavender Fields Forever, and it's for sock weight. It's a single, and it's merino silk, 438 yards, and I have a plan for this one. I'm going to be doing the Miss Winkle shawl that was gifted to me by the Night Knitter. And I was just going to use Stash, but I just really fell in love with this. Look at that. Yeah, the sheen on this is just so gorgeous. It's amazing. Isn't that so pretty? I love it. It's going to make a beautiful shawl. I couldn't resist. So that is my April yarn purchase, other than my clubs. I have 2 clubs, a fiber club and a yarn club, but that's my April purchase, and I am really, really glad, and I'm really happy with it. I love everything I got, so thank you, Marigold Jen, for making beautiful yarn. So that is, I think, everything that I have to show you guys. I wanted to say on the Ravelry group for the BookishStitcher podcast, all one word for the BookishStitcher, we hit over 400 members, and I am blown away. You guys are so amazing, and the fact that you come and watch the podcast and you join the group and participate and join in with things, just, it's wonderful. I'm not going to get teary or cry, but I never would have thought when I started this that so many people would have responded and liked the podcast so much, so thank you so much, guys. Okay, so I'm going to drink some coffee so I don't tear up. I really feel loved by the knitting community and all of you, and thank you. So we're doing a giveaway in the group. And the giveaway for the 400 member thing is a House of Yarn bag. And I just go to her shop on Etsy, pick out whichever one is your favorite, and then just write it in the comment under the Ravelry group thread for 400 member giveaway. And when I will draw a random winner next Sunday, which is April 19th, just looking at my calendar, and then I will buy that one for you, whichever one you picked, as long as it's still in the shop. But I just wanted to say thank you, and I love her bags, and she ships internationally, which is wonderful because we have a lot of international viewers, and I always want to be able to participate with everybody. And I think that is it for the giveaway news. Cal that we currently have going on is our favorite color cal, so you can knit anything with your favorite color, and there are 3 wonderful prizes for that, and you can enter, if you knit up to 3 different things in different colors that you love, you can enter for all of those. And I did want to say, I forgot to say last time, that there's actually an Instagram giveaway for this too, because I wanted to do that because I thought that would be really fun. The Instagram giveaway for this is if you just hashtag BSP, Bookish Stitcher Podcast, BSP, fave, F-A-V, color, cal, K-A-L. Just hashtag that and put it on Instagram. And every month that the cal runs, which is April and May, I will go on there on Instagram and pick a winner to win a pattern of their choice, $7 or less. So if you'd like to participate in that. If you can't remember what I said for the hashtag, you can go to the group, and under the chatter thread it has the exact word for the hashtag so that you can know, because I would be cool and edit it and put it up across the screen there, but I'm not that cool and I'm not that technical, so sorry. But that's going really well, and people are getting really excited, and it's great to see all the different colors that people are knitting with, and so many beautiful yarns, so definitely go over and check that out. We're also going to be doing from, I believe it's the 15th till the end of May, knit along for a read along. So it's a Terry Pratchett. Any Terry Pratchett book that you would like to read, you can read, and then knit something that reminds you of that book, either in the colors or something you think a character would wear. And there are going to be prizes for that. I don't know yet, but come and join in with that if you like Terry Pratchett. We're also doing that with Amy, who does Knit Theory, so that's really fun. And that's all I have for group news. The book for this week, let me take a sip of my coffee before I start, is one that the book for this week is one that I haven't read in a while, but it's a good one. I don't know if I've discussed much, but I really like YA fiction. I found that it goes by really fast, and that it's just a good fun read for me. I love classics, but not every book. I like to have a variety of books. I read a very large variety, from nonfiction to memoirs, to YA, to historical reads, to classics, to more modern fiction. I pretty much will read almost anything. So, the book this week is Tithe by Holly Black, a modern fairy tale. And this book I read 5 or 6 years ago. I'm not really sure of the exact date. But this is the first in a series that Holly Black did. And I really like Holly Black's writing for YA. I think it's kind of dark and mysterious. And if you love fairy tale things, it's very good. It's a dark, edgy fairy tale. So the idea of this book is there is a character named Kay, or K-A-Y-E, I just pronounced it K when I was reading it, who travels around. Her mother is in a rock band, and she kind of travels around the world, and the country, I guess, with her mother in the rock band. She's never been really settled down in a place, and she kind of, because of this lifestyle, has gotten in lots of trouble, and bad things have happened, so they decide to move back to her hometown where she was born. The mother decides to kind of help her get out of trouble. And things start going on from there. Kay has always had these imaginary friends that she always claims that she can see them, but everybody else has always said that they're imaginary because nobody else can see them. But you come to find out that they are a fairy, and that Kay has a role in the fairy world that she never knew. And she saves the life of this very handsome fairy boy, and it kind of leads her deep into this world of a battle between two fairy civilizations, two different courts of fairy. And I wouldn't say good versus evil because they're both have, since it's a dark fairy tale, they both have their evil parts to each of the different fairy courts. And so she's just kind of brought into that and finding out, that they require the role that humans have in that and everything. And it's a really good book. It went by really, really fast. And I know some people, I was looking on the Goodreads review, some people did not like this book and were saying that it wasn't well written. I think it is well written for a YA. Most YA books are easier to read. This is not going to be a book that is thought-provoking. It is not going to be a Crime and Punishment. It's not Dostoevsky, which I love, but it's a different kind of read. I love to read these books for, just fast reads. Sometimes you just want something kind of like people, when you knit a hat instead of knitting a sweater. Sometimes you just want that very fast accomplishment, or you just want something that you can read and kind of enjoy without having to ponder too much. So this is perfect for that. So if you like dark fairy tales, YA, and books that you can just kind of breeze through really quickly, I would highly recommend Holly Black's Modern Fairy Tale series. This is the first. I believe there were 3 or 4 in the series. I own them all upstairs on my bookshelf. But I think that Holly Black is a very good writer. There is some edgy stuff in it because Kay is 16, so she, and she gets in trouble a lot. So there's some cussing in it and some sexual stuff. Not a lot because it's YA, so it's not anything like an adult book would be. But there's occasional stuff. If that kind of stuff really bothers you, even little amounts of it, because large amounts bothers me. I can't get through books that have tons and tons of profanity because that's just not my personal style. I don't care if other people love it. It's not me. But it doesn't have enough to where it's not where it's every other word or something like that. So that is all I have for you guys this week. I hope you have a wonderful week and that you get to do all the things you love. Okay, bye.